Celebrating the Year of the Dragon in today's video. Welcome back, ghouls and goblins. I hope you're having a magical day. Thank you all for taking the time to support the channel. I truly appreciate it. If you don't already know, my name is Hello Good Game, and I am absolutely pleased to be your host within this Magic the Gathering Arena deck guide video, showcasing a Grixis Dragon deck. Now this is a blue, black, and red mid-range deck that can play as an aggro deck, surprisingly, if everything goes well. We'll break down the deck list in depth, discussing the strategies as well as synergies, providing you with a deeper understanding of how to pilot this deck effectively. Furthermore, demonstrating all of this within our ranked gameplay footage against the best decks as well as players in-game. Concluding with our deck review, channel news, and wrap-up thoughts. If you want to help out, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel, join the community Discord, link in the link tree within the description below. Kick back, relax, enjoy. Let's take a look at the deck.
It's a new lap record!
Grixis Dragons is the name of the game, and, you know, we get one of the favorite dragons of all times returning within the Outlaws of Thunder Junction set, which is super exciting. You already know what it is. Terror of the Peaks, a 5/4, 4/5 with flying, and spells that your opponents cast that target terror will cost an additional 3 life. It's like Ward, but they can't actually get around it by having something that makes counters not happen, which is pretty cool, so it happens regardless. And whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, terror will deal damage equal to its power to any target, which is pretty doggone goofy. And, you know, we've got a dragon deck, so the dragons usually have a pretty good power as well. So with that being said, we're also utilizing an additional card here other than our land. 3 steps ahead, 1 mana, instant speed, spree, +2, counter target spell, +3, create a token that's a copy of target artifact or creature you control. Terror of the Peaks, am I right? Or just draw 2 cards, then discard a card. That's fine too, helping you just, you know, get where you need to go, right? So, you know, the utility through this card's, you know, multiple casting modes really helps us remain consistent within the different matchups in best of 1, okay? Let's talk about optimal playline here, just so I can get it out of the way. If you've not been following my dragon decks recently, they all have the same core, and it is aggressive, even more so now with Terror of the Peaks. People are talking about reporting me. I got that as a personal message. Could you believe it? So on turn 2, we have the Invasion of Tarkir is a 2 mana, 5 protection, what's not a battle, I guess. And when it enters play, you'll deal 2 damage plus X, where X is the number of revealed dragons from your hand to any target. You know, this is just good to clean up one of their early drops. If there's nothing, then you can hit them with it. That's fine. And on the back side, the Defiance Thundermaw is a 4/4 with flying, trample, and whenever a dragon you control attacks, it deals 2 damage to any target. This is better than it sounds, specifically when we are able to play Sarkhan, Soul of Flame on turn 3. Turn 2, Invasion of Tarkir. Turn 3, Sarkhan, Soul of Flame, 3 mana, 2 power, 4 toughness. Dragon spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Now that is key. Furthermore, whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under your control, you may have the Soul of Flame become a copy of it until the end of turn, except its name is Sarkhan's, you know, it can be legendary, right? It's going to have a different name. And that's great. And it, of course, will be legendary in addition to its other types because Sarkhan is legendary. So this is good because we're reducing the mana value of our 5 drops to 4, allowing them to be played on turn 4, right? 4 mana with the reduction is 5. Furthermore, we have Invasion out with 5 protection or defense counters on it. The Terror of the Peaks as well as the Bonehoard Dracosaur, both playable on turn 4, will transform the Soul of Flame into a 5-powered flyer that can immediately flip the invasion. Now, ideally, it's the Terror of the Peaks. Why? Because when the invasion flips, that's an ETB of the Defiant Thundermaw, triggering Terror of the Peaks' ETB ability. That's 4 damage going across. This is really, really nice for us early game, right? Of course, Bonehoard Dracosaur is here as backup and, you know, just as good of a choice as far as I'm concerned, but damage wins battles. Card advantage just, you know, kind of increases your chances, shall I say. A 5/5 with flying and first strike, and at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top 2 cards of your library, and you may play them this turn. If you exile the land, create a 3/1 dino, and if you exile a non-land, create a treasure. So helping us ramp, increasing our field state with the token creature is pretty cool as well. And then just getting through our deck at an expedited rate is going to be the key component to that whole thing, right? Finding more dragons to play on Terror of the Peaks. So that's cool. Again, we have dragon abilities through the Thundermaw, through the Dracosaur, through the Terror that are all high impact. We can double them with the Roaming Throne for 4, a 4 power, 4 toughness creature with Ward 2. When it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type, dragon, and whenever, it is that type in addition to being a golem, which is great, another dragon, for the Thundermaw. And when a triggered ability will trigger, it will trigger an additional time. So, that's Thundermaw triggers. That's Terror triggers. That's Bonehoard triggers. It is beautiful. And then, if something happens to our dragons, we can replay them from the grave with Rivaz of the Claw. 3 mana, 3/3 with menace, tapping to add 2 mana of any combination of colors to cast dragon spells. During your turn, you may cast a dragon creature from your graveyard. And whenever you do so, it will enter with a finality counter on it. When it dies, it is exiled instead. So this is really nice just to bring, the Dracosaur and Terror of the Peaks back from the grave as they are such high value. It can also help us ramp into them, confirming that turn 3 play if we don't happen to have a Sarkhan as a backup turn 3 for us, right? Of course, you want to play Sarkhan first, specifically if you have an invasion in play beforehand, because when it transforms, it can immediately flip it, and that's going to be really, really good. And then, we want to make sure that we're getting the win, right? So, Play with Fire is not only early removal, much like the invasion, but you can also hit any target, right? So, it can hit planeswalkers, it can hit your opponent for the scry, it can potentially even hit your invasion to remove those defense counters off of it, which is pretty cool. So, very versatile here. We do enjoy it. Anything that we can't hit with damage, right? We have 2 damage through the fire. We have 2 damage through the invasion. We have 3 damage, which we've not talked about, through the Brotherhood's end, which can be stacked with one another, of course, kind of working together. But as a rule of thumb, anything that we're not taking with 2 or 3 damage, aka 4 toughness and greater, we'll take with Go for the Throat, right? At which point, Terror of the Peaks can probably focus on your opponent's health total with its ability if there's no priority removals that you haven't gotten yet with your, your damage and your hard destroy target creature. Of course, like I said, you can counter spell and make copies of your Terror of the Peaks or Bonehoard or even your Roaming Throne. It's all good. Or draw and discard to get you where you're going. So the deck really has it all. Cavern, making sure that our creatures are not being countered, which is nice. And of course, we'll have the Soaring City, the Mire, and the Defiance, which are reduced through its channel ability via the legendary creatures in your deck. Just a little bit of added yes. And then dual lands. It's dual land city here, as it is a 3-color deck. We're making sure that we remain consistent, and we're actually running 25 lands in deck on a 3.1 average mana value, as it is so mid-rangey, just in case you don't get your ramp creatures. They're very important, and you will look for them in your opening hands as a priority. Of course, if you don't have them, it's not the end of the world. There's a ton of interaction to help you survive until you get them out, until maybe, you're potentially organically get that 5 mana out, and just, they're going to win games organically. The dragons are massive. I know you're going to enjoy chain flipping the invasions. Like, if you have multiple invasions out here, like, it's going to enter, and then you'll deal 4 damage again, which can potentially trigger on the next one, which is really, really cool, right? So, you will enjoy, and that's very easy to do with the Roaming Throne, and also why we have a little bit of cleanup damage here with Play with Fire to make sure that we're flipping those effectively. Play the deck a bunch. Like I said, focus on the ramp creatures. Get that invasion out if you can before them. And then when the dragons are out early, you can flip the invasion early and then just pile in with a bunch of damage. Basic enough, right? So enjoy, like, comment, subscribe. Decklist is in the description below along with the Discord link. Kick back and let's play some Magic. Going first with a lot of land. That's okay. Start with a Surveil. Removal open on 2. There's a good chance it's an aggro deck we should keep. Yep. Of sorts. Let's pass over. Go for the Throat takes things with power, toughness 4 or greater. Brotherhood takes 3 or less. I mean, I'm not going to remove one thing that I could just block. I'd like to go 3 for 1, at least. Oh. Oh. I'll hit for 3. Throne is in on dragon. No dragons in hand. Well, I'm sure we'll find one. There's plenty. Okay, that's like a little aggressive. I don't want to leave them life gain, right? Swing for 7, down to 8. That's substantial. All our mana up. They don't want to block because they want the life gain, but are you going to gain 4 life? That's hard, right? All right, and turn, we might hit this up. It is reduced by 1, the Claw, our legendary creature in play. All the channel lands are reduced. Okay, so now we strike. So there's no life gain. We do take a fair amount of damage, right? 4 damage here. Ouch. Let's find a dragon! Thank you. Well, they're right on top, you know. Now, what do we take here? Card advantage dragon or damage dragon? We're taking card advantage dragon, sadly. This taps for 2 mana, so we actually have 7, which is not 8. Right? We could play this, then wipe the field. I don't think I like that. It's supposed to be red. Red-green doesn't matter. Red and green, Joe. He's Canadian. Give him a break. We're chilling. End turn. We do have 2 damage here. And then we should be able just to hit for 10 with the Throne and Peaks in play. Whether or not it can survive, yeah, I guess is another question. I don't think we're in trouble as far as damage goes. Losing the game from lethal, probably not. Oh, no, we're good. We're good. I mean, it's not great. It's, what, an additional 4 damage, some more blocks as well, but we're just going to use the Terror to win, right? Much like they're using the War Leader's Call. They could actually attack there and force a block. They choose not to. Just so we can still invasion if we wanted. I mean, we don't need to, but it's good practice to keep that mana where you want it to be. Could have played the invasion first and then pinged the invasion to flip it. And then, you know, it's a whole song and dance here we're doing. All right, this could potentially be the perfect hand. Let's see. Maybe just looking for more land. Oh, wow. Terror of the Peaks, 10 out of 10. Or invasion, and then you come back for terror later. Taking the removal, wow, this is quite interesting. I'll take the creature. It's annoying me already. They're back in my hand again? No. Just removal? I'm so confused. They have to have removal. There's no way they don't. Yeah, okay. It's good, yeah? Do they have another removal spell, I suppose is the question, though. Interesting. Three in hand, 2 in hand, 3 in hand. Really? Dude, nice. Okay, I see you. More removal, you think? Draw Adelphia. No block. 4 in hand. Sleeper's not removal. 3 mana. Oh, we're good. Oh, we're good. I think we kill this thing. Oh. Well, good game. Okay. You know, it's pretty slow. I'm gonna mulligan. I'm gonna hit it again. There it is. Key 5. Toss and toss. Looking for our 3rd land somehow still. Okay, that's perfect too. All we need is our 3rd land. And 4th and 5th, but not so much if we're not interacted with. Don't hold back, just go for it. Damage is damage. The information's not worth that much. Land off the top. Untapped land off the top. Big money. Yes. The vigilance is really good though, right? So it can defend, which is a little bit unfortunate. Wow, okay. Curving out, hitting for 2. The vigilance is nice. I needed my 4th land still untapped, please. We're not done yet. 4th land off the top, untapped. No. So sad. 25 lands in deck. It's gonna still happen sometimes. That's the Exile Angel. Very good. So even if we get our land, we're in trouble. Slow lands are a double-edged sword. That is for certain. Just so slow. I mean, that's honestly not even the end of the world. The damage is worse than anything, but... 5th land off the top? Yeah, that's crazy. I'll just hardcast it at this point. Just for card advantage and also the first strike. They may have removal, and that would be game. No. No attack either. Single target removal. Wow, that's heartbreaking. Off the top! Wow, that is heartbreaking. They have removal of their own? Oh, good for you. Good for you! Let's see how they come back at us here. They have life advantage, 3 in hand. Splendy Doodles went to town riding on a 5/5, which is not enough. Unless they have removal. Not enough to double punch it. Just the one. First strike dominates it. No way, you've got indestructible or something? Don't you dare. Good game. They don't dare. First strike, they realize, and oh, they probably had something else they could have done instead. We're going to get the win there with the Bonehoard, though. It's just so much value, and we already have a nice hand. All right, keeping 7. Not a good hand. But this is what makes or breaks the deck. Not your ideal curve. Wow, you wild out on them, but like, what was the backside of it like? You know, what were the suboptimal matches? Were they close, or did you just get walked on? Oh, that's good. 3 steps, removal, field wipe, 3 steps. Okay. Looking for a second red source there. We will scry. Maybe we will not.
And I don't appreciate it when people touch my things. You're gonna regret that. You won't be outsmarting me.
That might not be good. Let's clean up Lily. Not great, but it had to be done. Shieldred, of course it is. Now here's a question. Do they have removal? 3 in hand. 4 after the draw. And can we top deck a 5-power dragon? Or a 2-power. Something to use Brotherhood with in conjunction. Don't do it. This would be game winning. This is it. Mom spaghetti, right? Three in hand, no block. They could have a second shouldered. Not partaking. Flashy doodles. Went to town riding on some lifelink. Down to 6. After the draw, of course. Blessed be thy damage spell. Well, it's not really spell, but you get the idea. Potentially, we could have left shouldered there and just taken the damage, but I think this is much safer to do. Oh, wow. Down to 4. And that's why we got to take shouldered, right? Well, this isn't good. We'll take the 1 damage and probably block the Preacher. They get the life gain token. Either way. So maybe I'll just block the 1/1. Oh no, they draw because I only have 4. I have so little life. I have to block this in case it's 2 damage from something like this or another shielded. It's true. You want to take the Scar first, bud? I do. I do, bud. I do, bud. I want to see what we're getting. Come on. Come on! I gotta block it. It could be 2 damage. Right? Probably not likely to be 3. It could be, but unlikely. There's a good chance I can just deal 1 extra damage somehow with a good top deck. All I need is a creature. So that's not 2 damage. Did they bluff me out? But we had to play as if it was. Gaining just some life in general. And another land, but it's not enough. Good game. That is so close. Wow. That was spicy. All right, keeping 7. Land looks good. Marsh on 1. Yeah. Hello. Counterspell, counterspell. Okay, okay, okay. Warlock! Kind of a weird choice for us, but that's fine. This can choose dragon. There's more removal, though, isn't there? Yep, just good old-fashioned destroy. Ooh. An Apparatus. Mind Splice Apparatus is going to grab oil counters and reduce the cost of their instant and sorcery spells by said amount of oil counters. It's pretty good. You can proliferate those too, which is always fun. Let's take a scry. Oh, yeah, sure. Okily dokily. Is there a counterspell here? It's not a warlock. It's not a dragon. It could be a counterspell. It doesn't get haste, but I'm still going in. And they want to draw. Ooh, looking for a field wipe, huh? Probably finding it, but whatever. I'm still going in. Okay. I mean, if they don't wipe the board, it's lethal. I'm sure they have it. And we don't really have much on the back end. Hopefully just top decking another dragon. And they, you know, dealt with our invasion. They dealt with our Sarkhan. It's 2 of our core cards. So, you know, they're doing the thing. They just need a field wipe, and I think the match is probably theirs. I don't think that's it. Ooh, Terror of the Peaks. Nice, dude. Very rock and roll. 2 mana, well, sorry, 3 mana potentially. Gaining 2 life there, okay, okay. This is always a lot of fun for us. Tear up the Peaks in play, of course. And then we will... Invasion there, tear it down. Sorry, Roaming Throne. Through the terror. Zzz. Is it doubles now? Oh my gosh. There's a dragon in a hospital. Still not dead though. 1 life up. I think we have Play with Fire that should get us some haste as well. Oh, did they mill me? Maybe, I don't know. Potentially, that could be 30. I think this is not Planeswalkers, though. Just instant and sorceries, so we're good. Good game, homie. Dragons are fun. I've always been able to make dragon and angel decks work, oddly enough. Like, really bad archetypes, all in all. But for some reason, I can just, like... I think it's the flying is the thing. Like, big, chunky flyers that do stuff. Land looks good. Hand is definitely here. I really like the invasions so early. They're playing with the Vaultborn Tyrant, which is incredibly good. Ramping too, nice. Here's the question, do they have removal? Okay, that's really good, yeah. Doubling its thing there. Shutting down my ETBs. This is an attack trigger, but this is an ETB. Not great. It's a really good card, Elesh Norn. We could kill it, potentially. Is it worth it? I don't think so. Take our scry, toss the land. No ETB from this, but it'll still trigger. So this does not trigger, but it should still be there. Did we just hit them in two? Yes. Honestly, I think that's probably our best bet to win. These double triggers are great, but it's like there's not a roaming throne there. It's not like we're getting an early flip. So the draw here is great, but it's, again, you know, not the end of the world. Well, Born will kill us, though. Oh, yeah, that's 6 life right there. So maybe we should have flipped it in hindsight. Not great. The Elesh Norn is what's winning the match here, right? It stopped, you know, some of our damage for sure, and then it's doubled their life gain. Which is a bummer. We should have flipped this. There's no need to waste anyone's time. Good game. I mean, they're going to gain another 6 to 12 life next turn, so let's pack it up. Okali dokali. So we've made some edits to the deck, right? We used to run Virtue, and I like Virtue. It's great. It's just like so slow. You know, 7 mana is massive. Yeah, you get the removal early, but it doesn't remove everything. And at 7 mana, we should be executing fairly effectively. You know, maybe I put one of them in the deck as the next version. I feel bad excluding it as it is such high value. 3 go for the throats with 1 Virtue should be fine. And then it's just like the cherry on top, right? We don't want to get stuck with too many of them. They can be dead cards if you're in a control match and, you know, they're using Exile, Sunfall. So, you know, there's nothing really to bring back from the grave anyways, nor is there anything to utilize that -3 on. So, you know, that's kind of why we're dropping it here. But I think that we could feed 1 copy of it back. Just saying. Cut down, we've dropped in lieu of play with fire. I like that change. I think that stays. The scry is good. The reach is good. Flipping the invasions is pretty decent. And we already have so much removal, specifically now with Go for the Throat, which also we have swapped with Bitter Triumph because we no longer have the Virtue, so we're not discarding creatures. We do still have the Claw, but, you know, a limited number of dragons, so, you know, just on that, we can't really bring Sarkhan back and the Claw back like we can with the Virtue, only the dragons. So, you know, we're not really looking to discard a lot of that. Of course, the legendaries would make it easy to discard, but you're like unlikely to have multiple legendaries in hand anyways, and you'll need to be utilizing the ones that you do have. So that also, again, is going to be fairly unlikely for us here. So, you know, that's kind of my reasoning here. Terror of the Peaks is in, the Incinerator's out. The Incinerator was a nice field wipe, but Terror of the Peaks is just so crazy with Invasion. Very, very good. What else did we drop? We dropped the Ill-Timed Explosion from the deck, and just focusing in on the Brotherhood's end, running 4 copies of this, right? Just, you know, we don't like discarding so much, and I just want to deal 3 damage anyways, because all the 4 power creatures, right? So, you know, this is probably better. Again, maybe you could trim 1 and take 1, but I like that it casts on 3. I think that's maybe a little bit better. It's open to discussion. I would love your opinion on it. I've dropped the Shivan Devastator as well, because it's not really great. I don't think necessarily with Sarkhan, but, you know, it is what it is. It could be included too if you wanted it to be, potentially. I was considering March, it didn't go. Considering Angel Fire, but obviously we're not playing white. And I was honestly just looking at like different life gain options. So the Mask could maybe go on like one of our mana bros, potentially, question mark? I don't know. I think that's probably too convoluted. And then I guess, you know, this is going to be a Dragon Force as well. This may be something that I could incorporate, but the double blue is like maybe a little bit hard to get to. And then, you know, just more things from our past editions. But a couple of things that I did want to mention for you all here today at the end of the video. Of course, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you as well for watching. Have a magical day. My Discord remains open. I'd love to chit-chat about not only Magic, but really most things in life, to be honest. We got some different topics open. Currently playing a lot of Pokemon Rogue on the side, which is quite a bit of fun. So if you've not heard of it, check it out. You will enjoy as we wait for Bloomborough. Still a bit away. Modern Horizons 3 is out. Let me know if you're interested in seeing content for that, as I have not made any since the early access event. Timeless, historic, or limited, available for us to kind of experiment with new cards, maybe 1 or 2. We'll see. If there's, you know, overwhelming feedback, we'll do a bunch, right? We'll dive right in. I'll be the new timeless streamer, baby. Again, thank you all so much. Have a magical day. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon in the next. Take care.